19 lessons behind you. So, 12 real situations and one question, what would you actually do? Welcome back to the NBX Studio, and welcome to the drill room. Nothing new gets taught in this one. Everything here you have already been shown, which is exactly why it is worth finding out whether you can reach for it under pressure. Here's how each one runs. You get the situation, 4 options, then a few seconds of quiet to commit before I say anything. Say it out loud if you can, because a guess you've said out loud is one you'll remember getting right. Level 1 first. And these 3 are the ones that separate somebody who has read the docs from somebody who has actually written a test. First one. A sign-up forms work email field, and the inputs got an auto-generated ID, a class, and a placeholder. Which locator first? Ready? Option B, get by label, because that ID changes the moment anyone edits the form. That's the latter from episode 4, ordered by how likely a locator is to survive somebody else's redesign. A label is what a human reads, so a label is what you reach for. An auto-generated ID is a number of framework invented this morning. Number 2. Your test clicks save, then asserts the saved toast is visible. Passes locally, fails in CI weekly. The professional fix? Ready? Go with B, expect retries, so the toast gets 5 seconds to turn up. And notice that expect is not just more reliable than a sleep, expect is usually faster. A sleep of 3 seconds costs you 3 seconds, even on a good day. Expect passes the moment that toast lands, which is often under 100 milliseconds. Here's a nasty one. A city box shows suggestions as you type. You call Phil with Chennai, the value lands, and the drop-down never opens. Why? Ready? The answer's B, press sequentially, because Phil never fires a single keystroke. This one catches everybody once. Phil sets the value in a single shot, so the page never sees a keystroke, and an autocomplete listening for keystrokes has nothing to hear. Press sequentially types like a person, so the drop-down wakes up. Level 2 now. These 4 are the ones that get asked in interviews and the ones that cost people an afternoon when they meet them for the first time. Level 2, and this one's an interview favorite. 30 users in a table, and you must deactivate only Morpheus, whose row keeps moving. What's robust? Ready? C is the one. Filter the rows by text, then act inside the match. That's the filter recipe from episode 10, and the important half is the last step. Locate every row, narrow to the one containing Morpheus, then press the button inside that row, not the 12th button on the page, which belongs to whoever's sitting there today. Now, this one wastes afternoons. The card number field in a Stripe widget is right there on screen, you can see it and Phil times out anyway. What's happening? Ready? C. That field is sitting inside in a frame. Learn that symptom by heart because it saves an hour every time. I can see it and Playwright can't find it means a document inside a document, and payment widgets are always a frames. Frame locator steps inside, and the same locator works fine. Next. Clicking View Invoice opens a new tab, and your title assertion fails, because page still points at the tab you started on. The fix? Ready? B. Expect pop-up, armed before the click, because a listener can't catch what already happened. Trap, then trigger. The order is the entire answer here, because a listener armed after the event has already happened catches precisely nothing. So you arm expect pop-up first, you do the click inside that block, and afterwards info to value is the new page. Try this one. Upload avatar opens an operating system file picker, and your locators can't touch an OS window. So, what's the Playwright way? Ready? You want B, hand the file straight to the input, and skip the dialog entirely. You never open that picker at all, which is the bit that feels like cheating. Set input files hands the file directly to the file input underneath, exactly as if a person had chosen it, and the operating system window never gets involved. And level 3. These 5 are the senior calls, the ones where the right answer is not a different line of code, but a different idea about where the test should even happen. Level 3 now. Your product manager wants the orders page for a user with 0 orders, and staging hasn't got one. How do you test that today? Ready? B again. Mock the response, because impossible data is one line. The empty state is the one everybody ships without ever looking at, because producing it for real is somebody else's ticket. Mock the response, and the impossible state becomes one line, available on every single run, forever. 180 tests, 25 minutes, and everyone logs in through the interface at 6 seconds ago. Get it under 10. Which combination? Ready? C. Storage state, then -n auto, because those two stack. Two ideas stacked, and the order matters. Storage state removes 179 logins, which is roughly 18 minutes gone on its own. Then -n auto takes whatever is left and spreads it across workers, because the work never got faster. The work just stopped queuing. Here's one you'll actually hit. The app should show a retry button when the product's API returns a 500 and the real API won't fail on demand. Test it permanently. Ready? B. Route the call and fulfill a 500 yourself. Route puts you in the mailroom, and once you are standing in the mailroom, every request stops at your desk on the way past. You decide what happens to each one. Answer it yourself with a 500, and the disaster you could never schedule happens on cue, every run. The 3 a.m. mystery. Test checkout fails in CI weekly, always passes on your machine, and the log just says timeout error. How do you see what happened? Ready? B. Keep a trace, because a log can't show you the page. A trace is a flight recorder, and that is not a metaphor I am stretching. You get a DOM snapshot before and after every action, the console and the network, recorded on the machine where the failure actually happened, which is a machine that no longer exists. Last one, and it separates levels. Archiving a project needs a project, and building one through the interface is 12 clicks. How does a senior structure that? Ready? B. Create it by API, because the create form isn't what you're testing. Nobody is testing the create form today, so the create form is scenery. One post request builds the project in about 1/10 of a second, and then the browser opens for the one thing you actually came to check. When that test goes red, you know why, because the only interface in it is the archive flow. If you got most of those, you are genuinely ready for an interview, and more importantly, you are ready for a Tuesday. Notice how few of the answers were a clever line of code. Nearly all of them were a decision about where the test should happen at all. One episode left, and it is the cheat sheet. Every command on one screen for the night before an interview. The whole course is free over at the Playwright Dojo.